I'm live, but I wasn't in the studio. All right, now I am. Hi, guys. It is May 16th, and this is Tori Christman, aka Tori Magoo 44, on YouTube and TikTok. And I think I'm Tori Magoo on Instagram. Anyway, I was in the Church of Scientology for 30 years and escaped out after I think I was in it 30 years. Yeah, so 2000. I got in 1969 and I escaped out in 2000. And hey, hi, Love It. How are you? Love It is the moderator here. Hi, Larry. Hello. Happy Friday night. Um, Hi, Sigrid. One of my computer friends from years ago taught me. I tried to get on tonight. Hi, Janet from another planet. I love that. Um, I was having problems, and someone taught me the Control Alt Delete. And you hit all of those, and it shuts the whole thing down, and then you can start again. Hi, Bridge. Thank you. I just washed it and curled it. So it's a little curly, but what the hell? I know it's early for me, but there's a reason for that. Hi, Dawn. Um, so this is gonna be kind of short. And then normally I do Sunday night, but I'm not going to do Sunday night because Monday I'm going to do an interview with Mark Bunker. Hey, Dawn, how are you? Thank you. So I'm going to do an interview with Bunker on Monday. I might do something over the weekend, but I don't want to do Sunday, Monday. It's too much right close together. Still trying to figure out, actually when's a good time, what's a good time, that kind of thing. And so I'm working on it. There you go. The best news is I'm out of Scientology. For anybody in Scientology, you can leave anytime. Scientology builds in your head from day one, you're in it or you're out. Which is it? And you go, well, I'm in it. And they go, okay, then that's it. You're in it. And from then on, they're constantly reminding you you're in it. You said you want to be in it. If you go, well, I'm not really sure, they go, okay, we'll send you off to ethics. Now, ethics is a level up of not being happy with Scientology. And they send you to ethics, and this is what happens. The ethics officer goes, what happened? Who did you talk to? What did you read? Hi, Kenny. And you go, well, now people would go, I read the internet. But back in the early days, we didn't have the internet. So, you might be just feeling crummy about Scientology. And so they'd say, well, all right, we're going to put you in a condition of doubt. Well, they get out the ethics book and they have you look up which one of the conditions. So you have to always decide. So it's like, well, I guess I'm in a condition of doubt. Doubt meaning I either go this way or that way. Which is it? I'm in or I'm out. And hey, Twyla, better than incapable. Better. Yeah, gotcha. True. So I think, I'm not sure what I think it'd be better dead than incapable. I don't know about that. Because you can get through being incapable. You can't get through being dead. Once you're dead, you're dead. So I don't know about that. But anyway, if it's something else or you have another way of explaining it, please do. So now you're in a condition of doubt. And part of the condition of doubt is you have to decide, you have to look at all the statistics of each one of the groups, the one that you're leaving and the one that you're joining, right? And what are they and blah, blah, blah. And inevitably, most Scientologists end up choosing Scientology. It's the better of the two. Mostly because they like their friends. A lot of them have family in it, and they don't want to leave them. So that's a big part of it. Also, in the earlier days, we believed Scientology could help us get freer. Now, they've kind of proved that doesn't really work. It really doesn't. I don't know how they even keep people in there. I really don't. Because that was a big, the friends, so peer pressure and hope and believing that something good could happen were what they are. But now I'm over on TikTok and I have 3 million hit views on a 1-minute video that I made for young kids saying, watch out, Scientology's after you if you're a younger person, because they are, and people of other countries, because they're after anyone who speaks one or two two or more languages. And so anyway, I made that video. It's 1 minute long, and now there's over 3 million hits on it. So it's gone viral, definitely. And I'm glad it has, because if it warns people, that's good. But one thing I've learned over there is they don't understand why do people have to escape? What's the deal there? Thank you. Thank you, Dawn. I know it's kind of fun. Hi, Sigrid 8. M fantastic. All right. 3M. I know. It's pretty great considering I spent 24 years talking to people about this. And now I make a 1-minute video and go on TikTok and it has 3 million views. It's fantastic. It's amazing. Thank you, Dawn. So anyway, why people have to escape is because of the mind control. And they basically build into your head, moose on the loose, hello. They build in your head that the only solution to your eternity and freedom is Scientology. So you've got it in your head that that's true. So it takes a long time to peel that off and realize, wait a minute, this isn't true. You do this and you do that and you do this and you do that and they don't work. And after a while, you kind of go, this isn't really working. Now, remember, in Scientology, you can't talk to each other. We couldn't talk to each other about this conversation. We wouldn't be having. And if we were, you'd be sent off to ethics. And they'd be saying, okay, why are you talking to Moose on the Loose about how you don't like Scientology? What's going on? That's not okay. Hi, Sophie. Thank you. I curled it. I washed it and curled it. So anyway, they would get, you'd have to do lower conditions for talking to anybody about Scientology. So you have no avenue. Even if you're married, you're not going to talk to your husband or your wife. At least I didn't. Hi, Tori. You look stunning tonight. Glad I caught you live. Thank you, Jay. Me too. I am too. So thank you all for coming on tonight. So, you end up where, like for me, I think it was Andreas in Norway, who I never met. And I thought he was the devil. And you can read, Tony Ortega did an interview with me about the whole thing. It's called Sympathy for the Devil. And you can read it online. You can Google it, Sympathy for the Devil. And it talks about me thinking Andreas was the devil. And, we connecting up online. And me saying, he basically helped me, which is something I always try to remind people, because it was just something very simple, but I didn't know how to do it. And he taught me. And I thought, now, wait a minute, this guy's the devil. And he's taught me something that no one in Scientology in 30 years has taught me, but he taught me it. And so they have the little blue thing, which is your hyperlink for an email. And I thought, I really should write him a thank you note. And so I clicked on it and I just put, Dear Andreas, thank you for helping me. I think I've told most of you guys this story, but I'll tell it again in case somebody hears it, who hasn't heard it. But I said, thank you for helping me. And he wrote back and said, Dear Magoo, you're welcome. Best wishes, Andreas Helderland, his complete address, his phone number, his cell phone number, everything. I mean, he was totally transparent. And I went, oh, wait a minute, something's wrong with this picture. I was volunteering with my auditor and best friend, who also was an auditor and helping the Office of Special Affairs. And he was running this whole program with me on the internet, not telling me what he was doing. And so I really didn't know. But Andreas, they were getting very covert, using phony names, phony addresses, all kinds of stuff. Thank you, Sophie, for posting that. Yeah, with Andreas. Yeah, the original story about Scientology. Yeah, that's good. So anyway, it was kind of a wild time. It really was. It was a wild time to realize, now wait a minute, this guy's the devil, but he's helping me in something they never would have, right? And he's being totally transparent, and they're totally covert. And so those two things were a big part of my waking up right away. And so I thought, well, maybe I can talk to him. And I said, Dear Andreas, why do you have up all this awful stuff about my internet? Because he had about my church, because he had up all this stuff about Scientology. He had a website about it called xenu.net. And I had never read it, but I saw it. And I wrote to OSA immediately and said, why don't you take this down? And they said, we're working on it. So I thought, okay. So now I'm talking to the guy that created the thing. And I said, why do you have up all this stuff about Scientology? And he said, I believe in truth. I believe in looking at both sides, and I have the courage to say what I think. I don't think Scientologists are bad. I just think they're misinformed. I suggest you start reading Magoo. And I had never read anything negative about Scientology ever. And so now I go on, it was called Alt Religion Scientology. It was a linear thing. And I just looked at it, and it had a thing from Mary Tabayoyan, who I'll always acknowledge. And she said, ladies, if you're thinking of joining the Sea Org, read this. And I read it, and it was all about enforced abortions. And back then, no one knew they were doing that. They were making people who got pregnant in the Sea Org, not public. I was public, so they can't make us have abortions. But Sea Org, they own them pretty much. They've signed a $1 billion contract with them. So they decided the kids were a pain in the ass. So, okay, we'll just have these enforced abortions. And reading about it and reading her they just took her there, made her get it, and then took her back. And then she had to be on post the next day. And I just sat and cried and cried and cried. I couldn't stop crying. And I just said, and who am I going to talk to? My husband was out of town. I couldn't talk to any of my friends because they're all Scientologists. I didn't know what to do. So I wrote to Andreas, and I said, Andreas, I don't know what to do. I can't stop crying. If I leave, I'm going to leave all my friends and my husband of 26 years. I don't know if my soul can take that. And he wrote me back, and he said, Dear Magoo, I'm crying reading your email. I'm so sorry you're having to go through this, but I've got to ask you this one question. And this is a really good thing for everybody to remember, because it was an intense moment. Hi, I am who you say I am. And he said, what kind of friends could those be if they're going to leave you because you change your mind? What kind of friends could those be if they're going to leave you because you change your mind? That's a good question. And it was mind-blowing to me. Well, at first, I didn't know what to do. It was like the whole Truman Show just cracked in half. It was like, that was it. I was done. I couldn't stay. I mean, I had seen a lot of things. I knew 4 kids that had taken their own lives, and that was too much for me right there. And I had seen too much ickiness in helping the Office of Special Affairs. Hi, Marina. And I just thought, I can't do this. I just can't. I can't do it. I just can't keep doing it. And I said, Andreas, I don't know what to do. I mean, you've got to get me to somebody that knows what I'm going through, because it was just so intense. And so Stacy Brooks, who's a lady who had started the Lisa McPherson Trust in Clearwater, Florida, with Jesse Prince and Bob Minton. And so Stacy wrote me and said, Dear Magoo, who are you? And I wrote her back, and I said, Stacy, I can't tell you. I mean, I was really frightened at this point. And I thought, I don't know if she's OSA or not. Maybe she's OSA. And so she wrote me back, and I thought, oh, good, I got a thing from Stacy. Maybe she's going to help me. And I open it up. It's an email, and I click on it. And it says, Dear Magoo, sorry we can't help you, Stacy Brooks. And I was just stunned. I mean, sorry we can't help you? I finally wake up and now, sorry we can't help you? But I realized I was kind of like standing on 1,000-foot high, cliff. And way at the bottom was a little teeny sign that said, you might make it if you jump. But you have to jump. And I have that sign. I told you, leap and the net will appear. And I made the leap. I did. I had to. And the rest is history. I mean, it turned out we knew each other. We'd audited together at AO, and they helped me, get out, and the rest was all great. But I didn't even know I'd have to escape even then. Even when Stacy said, we'll help you come to Clearwater, I didn't know it was going to be an escape. Do you see what I mean? It was just going to be, I'm leaving, I'm going to Clearwater. I didn't even know I was leaving Scientology. I was just kind of leaving to go see them and see who they were, because I didn't even know who they were. Maybe they're OSA, maybe they're Scientologists still. So they said, we'll get you a ticket and you can come here and visit. I said, okay. But then they canceled my van. Not they did, but Scientology canceled my van. And the critics for years had been telling me this is the kind of stuff they do. And I was like, no, they don't do that kind of stuff. You guys are all reading the internet. You're just thinking all these crazy thoughts. It's not true. So now they cancel my van. And all those voices that they had been saying to me for years, I'm like, oh my God, maybe they do actually do fair game. Maybe these guys are telling the truth. And it was a monumental switch. And I mean, I was a Scientologist, like I said, in LAX. Even then, I didn't think they did fair game, but this was very weird. And I was pretty positive it was them, Scientology, who canceled my van. So now I'm still not thinking of it as an escape. I'm just leaving, but it's getting a little bit trickier. I call around to get another van to go to LAX, and every van in Burbank is booked on a Wednesday. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is really fishy. And I think I'm a person, I'm going to get something done if I'm going to do it. And I just kept calling and calling and calling. And I finally got a guy who said, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And he took me out to LAX. Now, and this wasn't a friend, it was just a cab. So now he takes me out to LAX. I get there and the plane is canceled. And I'm like, can John Travolta cancel a plane? I didn't know. I really didn't know, because I knew they used the celebrities for all kinds of stuff. I really didn't know. Now let me read. Sophie says, Tori, I love hearing your stories about your escape. We can all learn so much from your bravery and dedication to truth. Thank you. Thank you. I always feel like I'm repetitive, but I do remember different things that I think I learned something too each time. The Elk of Antioch, hail Emperor Xenu, and hail his loyal officer Magoo 44 of the 3rd Invader Force. Yes. You guys are great. So I walk in, and all of a sudden, it's like this. Oh, wait. No, wait. There we go. All right. Now, there you are. Okay, so anyway, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like high heels coming down the hall. And I knew that sound from Scientology. And they have a way of walking that's different than anything else. And I looked around, and it was the vice president of the Office of Special Affairs. And I thought, damn. I was a Scientologist also for a while. I hate the religion now. All right. I don't believe in hate, but I agree. I don't like it either. And we're back. Yeah. So Stacy had said, bring a phone. I said, Stacy, they don't do stuff like that. See, this was me in my home. I didn't think they did fair game. And she said, Tori, we used to run these programs, bring a phone. So I had this little emergency phone in my drawers in the bottom drawer, and I got it out. And Stacy said, charge it up. So I charged it up. I had it in my purse. I didn't think I'm not going to need this. Now the vice president walks up to me and she goes, we know where you're going and you're not going there. And I'm like, I have little tiny eyes, but they were big at that point. I'm like, holy camoles. I know, she's amazing. So I get out my phone, my little flip phone, and I go, Stacy, the vice president is here. And she goes, hang on, I'm going to put on Jesse. And Jesse gets on. Now, these are like super evil people to me the day before, right? So it's very big mind shift for me because they were, these big evil people. And now they're helping me. So Jesse gets on the phone and he goes, this is Tori, and he's got a beautiful voice. I love Jesse's voice. And he goes, Tori, I used to run these programs. I know what I'm talking about. Do not set down the phone. No matter what you do not set down the phone. If you go to the bathroom, don't set down the phone. No matter what you do, if you have to wash your hands, do not set down the phone. And I go, okay. And he goes, we're going to walk you through this and we'll get you here. And I go, okay. Now she is right near me. Now wait, Sandy says, I'd love to catch you live, Tori, Saturday morning in Australia. All right. You look lovely tonight. Your story is absolutely courageous. Love and respect to you. Thank you. That's nice. Thank you, all of you. You've been very kind. So, now I have to read every time I stop, though, then I have to remember, where was I? I'm in the thing. Oh, yeah, she's following me. And so she keeps following me. And she's got a notebook and she's writing down everything, anything, like I'm getting another ticket, and she's writing it all down. And so I'm talking to Jessie still. And I say, look, she is the vice president is following me and writing down everything that's happening. And he goes, hang on. He puts on Bob Minton, who's a multimillionaire businessman who's helping them start this Lisa McPherson Trust in honor of Lisa McPherson, who died at the hands of Scientology. And so Bob gets on the phone and he goes, okay, tell you what, we're going to get you a first class ticket. There's a special lounge for first class and she can't go in it. So you go into that special lounge and then get on the plane and we'll see you here. So I say, okay. So now I'm in first class. So I'm like, wow, this is nice. I'm free. I just feel really happy. I'm like, I'm finally free of Scientology. And they announce we have to get off in Chicago and change planes. And I think, okay, no big deal. So I go to get off, and who walks up? My husband. Tori, hi. I go, Harold, what are you doing here? I just happen to be here. I think we need to go on a vacation. Now, I know he never knew the dark side of Scientology, but I know a vacation means they're going to lock me up in a cabin in Wisconsin or somewhere in the woods, and I have no idea what else they do with them, but I knew it wasn't going to be good. And I said, no, we're not going on a vacation. I'm going to Clearwater. And he goes, well, then I'm going with you. Now, you all know, anybody who followed the Danny Masterson trial, they're not allowed to call the police. So I say to him, look, if you get on that airplane, I'm calling the police. Because I know, this is in my mind, if he and I go together to Clearwater, I knew they were going to fly Yachty in, who was our best friend and auditor. And once we're together, the three of us, it would be the three of us, Bob, Stacy, and Jesse, a mob of Scientologists, and Harold and Bill would be saying, Tori, these are suppressive people. It's us or them. You have to pick. And I knew I wouldn't have been able to pick. I knew it. So that's why I said, no, you're not coming. I know it's creepy, a vacation. I know. It's very creepy. So I knew I would not be able to go, okay, I picked the SPs over you two. I wouldn't have been able to. So I just said, no, you're not coming on the plane. So I get on the plane. Now I'm on the plane from Chicago to Tampa. And I think, okay, that's it. Now, oh, and that's the other thing. A mob of OSA people came up in the Chicago airport. And I go, who are these people? And he goes, well, they're with me. And I said, I thought you said you just happened to be here. And he said, okay, well, they called me. And she comes up and goes, you don't know who you're seeing here. And they give me this big stack of papers of all the bad things that these people had done, which I never read. There you go. Always says, see, that's what happens. We don't have to read your shit. So anyway, now I'm on the plane and I think, okay, I'm fine because I've gone to back and forth from LA to Clearwater or to Tampa, and their only vans go until midnight. They don't go past midnight. And our plane landed at 1:45 in the morning. So I think, okay, wait, Deborah Irving, hello from Florida. You're watching with your dog Milo. Okay, if you know, what do you know about the Citizens Commission on Human Rights? It was started by the church. Okay, that's a whole different topic, and I'm talking about escaping. So stick with the program or send me a little thing and I'll answer it later. You can send me an email or a text. But that's a different subject. Okay, so now I'm waiting to get off in Tampa. I get off in Tampa thinking it's just going to be me and these people on the plane. Wrong. I get off the plane, I go down the thing, and there's a mob of Scientologists on one side, 2 policemen in the middle, and Stacy, Bob, and Jesse over here. And the policemen go, and they're all yelling, the Scientologists. And the policeman goes, stand back. Everyone, stand back. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And this girl that I know from Scientology comes up to me and she goes, Tori, what are you thinking of? Now, you have to know, I left because of David Miscavige. I didn't leave because of L. Ron Hubbard. I didn't really know that much about him as far as all the stuff in the books and stuff like that. I haven't read those. But Miscavige would not help me. And I kept saying, I need to get off of OT7. It's not working. And I'd get back, okay, continue. Okay, continue. Okay, continue. That was it for 7 years. So I'm a little ticked off at the guy. So now I leave, I escape out. I'm on the other side of the country. And this Scientologist comes up to me and goes, well, I just want to let you know one thing. I am best friends with David Miscavige. And if you need to get a message to him, I can get a message to him tonight. And I said, really? Well, here's my message to David Miscavige. I pick them. Meaning the 3 SPs that are on that side. I picked them, and that's who I picked. And the cops said, all right, everybody stand back, and they escorted us out. And that was it. So that was my escape. But I honestly, when I left, I did not think I was going to be escaping. I didn't even believe in fair game. I really didn't. Hi, Mark. I stood up in court and said, there's no fair game. They canceled that years ago. So I really, really was kind of anti-fair game. And boy, they've proved that wrong over and over and over. They can't make any money if you stop. They can't make any money if you stop. Well, I don't know about that. I'm so glad you got away. Me too. Me too. That was in 2000, July of 2000. It's coming up. It's going to be my 25th anniversary. That's pretty cool. So anyway, there you go. That's why people have to escape. And I'm not the only one. I mean, I think Jesse was out at Hemet, which is, out kind of by the desert, and the Indian reservation was there. And I think they put him in some kind of a thing with hay and stuff like that. And the Indians got him off the reservation and away from Scientology. And Blown for Good, Mark Headley, if they would have just left him alone, I don't know what would have happened. All the time, it's like if they would have just left us alone, I would have probably left and gone back to my house in Chicago. It's so funny that they and I told them this when I was in. I said, you create your own enemies. And I told them that when I did Magoo dancing in Boston. I said to Mike Rinder, I said, you know what? I told you when I was in, you create your own enemies, and here I am. So it was like, luckily Mike eventually left and sadly has now passed away, but he left us a lot of information in the meantime, and Leah too. So Leah's still alive and well, thankfully. Anyway, so that's a lot of different people have escaped out of there in various different ways. We've got to celebrate the 25th Magoo Free Wednesday. Not Free Wednesday. No, 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 no. I'm not going to do that. No. It could be a free day, but not a free Wednesday. I'm not going to promote their free wins. No. Mm-mm. But we'll figure it out. We will. We'll do something. All right, you kids. So that's why. Do you have any questions on that? At least we got to raise money for a trip to her favorite restaurant. Oh, God. I can't believe it's going to be 25 years. Can you? And that now I did a 1-minute video a week ago, and it has 3 million hits on it. I mean, that's just incredible on TikTok, isn't it? I have all of you guys on YouTube, which is fabulous in itself. But then to find a whole nother avenue and do 1 minute and have it be 3 million views, I'm very happy that all of you guys are doing what you're doing, because all of you are helping one way or another. You never know what you might be saying or posting that can help somebody that's lurking and watching and listening. My email is Tori Christman, like Christman, 44@gmail.com. Okay, but I'll tell you, I will admit it. Everybody else here knows it, but here it is. Here's my email. There you go. ToriChristman44@gmail.com. But I'm bad at email. I really am. You'd be much better to call me or text me at this number, and don't worry about the Zelle thing, but you can text me and just say, check your email. Because otherwise they spam my email so much, it's ridiculous. So there you go. I share your videos. Oh, good. Thanks for your email. You are welcome. Oh, you don't have mobile. Okay, well, then email. I'll try to do it. I really will. I'm just telling you, I'm bad at it. I'm 42 years out of Scientology. Good for you, Dawn. Congratulations. That's really good. I know there's a lot of us that are out. It's wonderful. And you can see it in their organization. I mean, they're like dead. It's empty. And there's no new people coming in. Yeah, sure. And you got what CCHR is, Citizens Commission on Human Rights, which is awful. It is one of the most awful things in Scientology, in my opinion, because they're anti-mental health. So I now know 17 young people who committed suicide. That's not even including the adults who did. And that's because they couldn't get mental health outside of Scientology. Lapisha, hi, Tori. Ever stop telling your escape story? It may help someone listening. Thank you. I think you said never, ever. It says ever, ever, but I think you meant never, ever. Epic fail, Osa. Exactly. Epic fail. Yep. Having 30,000 people take a look at a 1-minute video is pretty amazing. I mean, and that's not me. That's the topic. Scientology is very hot on the internet right now. Never, ever. Yes, I enjoyed the escape story every time. Thank you. The Elk of Antioch. Thank you. I know, it's kind of amazing. It is an amazing story. I have friends that are in the industry that make films, and every one of them has said, you've got to make this into a film, because it's very visual. You can really see it. It's like, wow. It's intense. It really is. So anyway, one of these days. Anyway, in the meantime, I've kind of got to go. I hate to keep it really short, but I've kind of got to go unless you guys have a question. Stacia? All right, Scientology is such a mess. I don't understand how they're still going. I know. All the stories told by ex-members should raise some eyebrows by now. I know. Oh, thank you. Not a streamer, bro. Wow, thank you very much for that. That's nice. Look. Wait. There. There you go. Not a streamer, bro. I love that. Thank you for the super sticker. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. Ah, unbelievable. You guys are so great. I've said this for 24 years. Every voice matters. Every voice. Because people think, well, you have all those people following you, but I don't. No. You guys are the reason I'm still going. It's because of you guys and Scientology. Thank you, Scientology. If Scientology didn't keep doing their creepy stuff, I probably would have. I mean, I told them when I was in, you're creating. They wanted me to go over to Mark Bunker's house with a really weird sign. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. You just pulled that out of your ass. You don't know that's true. The guy's a nice guy. And you know what? Thank God I did, because he had Dan Mernan's photo with that picket sign up in front of his house for, I think, 20 years. It was a long time. And I thought, thank God I didn't. That's the thing. If you're in a cult, you have to do what you know is right. That's the difference. See, I did what I knew was right, and thus I'm free. You've got to do what you know is right. Don't keep, just following along and thinking you have to do it. No, you don't. What is this? Oh, the Elk of Antioch. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do you live near Elks? I never asked you that. For an appetizer for your 25th anniversary. Aw, thank you. That's very sweet. Very sweet. I'll have to put these in a little special file for my 25th anniversary. We'll have to figure out something. Thank you, Elk. And thank you, Not a Streamer Bro. Both of you. Very kind. All right, you cats. Well, thank you for coming by here. I know it's only a half an hour. I'm not doing much, but I have somewhere where I have to go. I do. And hey, Wesley McVeigh. Ooh, a McVeigh. Where's the McVeigh? They're from a movie. There's a movie with McVeighs in it. I can't remember which one it is, but I know there is McVeigh. But it's not Wesley. Have fun, Tori. Thank you. I will love it. You're speaking out, and that's all that matters. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, I think it's good to, sometimes keep it short. That's good. Short and sweet. Now you can go visit some other people. Well, anyway, here's the deal. I'm not going to do it Sunday. Normally I do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. But because I'm going to do Bunker next Monday, and the Sunday and Monday right together are too close. So I might do something else over the weekend, but I'm not going to do Sunday. I'm going to do Bunker on Monday. And I told him that I'm going to announce it tonight that I'm going to interview him on Monday. Have a fantastic night. And isn't it great that Scientology retracted? They didn't get their street that they wanted to get. Way to go, Dave. You over and over. They've been trying to take over Clearwater since 1979, as far as I know, probably earlier, but I was there in 79 and they were trying to take it over then. And I was part of that. Wesley McVeigh. Oops, sorry. Moose, I don't think I said hi earlier, but hi. Aw, that's sweet. Very sweet. So make sure you all hit the like button because that raises everything up somehow. I'm still learning how, but it does. They do own a lot of property. I know they do. I know they do, but the town still hates them. They really do. The town does not like Scientology. Go Clearwater? Oh, the town. Hey, philosophy. Yeah. The Pisha. Oh, our cute little tulips. Very cute. Very sweet. All right, you guys. Well, have a wonderful weekend. I may see you. I may pop on here, but it may be Monday when I see Bunker. Nice Scientology lost the street. Yes. And that's a win for us. That's a good win. It really is. Good night. Good night. I love you guys. There you go. You have to go like that. Got it. Do you think they will try again? Oh, yeah, they will. They've been trying forever. They will for sure. But thank you for the hearts. Love it. Those are wonderful. Good night, all. Thank you, the Elk of Antioch, for being so sweet. And thank you, Not a Streamer Bro. And thank you, all of you, for coming on. Peace out. Have a good weekend.